We strongly condemn unilateral Israeli decisions and measures aimed at expanding Israel's unlawful presence in the West Bank. Such decisions are contrary to Israel's obligations under international law and must be immediately reversed. We underline in this regard our strong opposition to any form of annexation. We reiterate our rejection of all measures aimed at altering the demographic composition, character, and status of the Palestinian territory occupied since 1967, including East Jerusalem.
Over 80 United Nations member states unite to condemn what they describe as unilateral Israeli actions in the occupied West Bank. At a packed news conference at UN headquarters in New York, Palestine's envoy, Riyad Mansour, delivered a sweeping statement on behalf of 80 countries and several major organizations. The message was blunt. The group strongly condemned what it called efforts to expand Israel's unlawful presence in the West Bank, demanding an immediate reversal of the decisions. Mansour underlined firm opposition to any form of annexation, warning that such steps directly contradict Israel's obligations under international law.
Thank you very much, the media, for being with us and covering this massive press conference by a large number of member states and international organizations and regional organizations who are with us. I have the honor to deliver the following statement on behalf of over 80 states and organizations on the latest Israeli decisions regarding the occupied West Bank. The list of the participants who joined this stakeout will be shared with the press and on social media. Let me read the statement. We strongly condemn unilateral Israeli decisions and measures aimed at expanding Israel's unlawful presence in the West Bank. Such decisions are contrary to Israel's obligations under international law and must be immediately reversed. We underline in this regard our strong opposition to any form of annexation. We reiterate our rejection of all measures aimed at altering the demographic composition, character, and status of the Palestinian territory occupied since 1967, including East Jerusalem. Such measures violate international law, undermine the ongoing efforts for peace and stability in the region, run counter to the comprehensive plan, and jeopardize the prospects of reaching a peace agreement ending the conflict. We reaffirm our commitment reflected in the New York Declaration to take concrete measures in accordance with international law and in line with the relevant UN resolutions and the 19 July 2024 advisory opinion of the International Court of Justice to help realize the right of the Palestinian people to self-determination and to counter the illegal settlement policy in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem, and policies and threats of forcible displacement and annexation. We reiterate that just and lasting peace on the basis of the relevant United Nations resolutions, the Madrid terms of reference, including the principle of land for peace and the Arab Peace Initiative, ending the Israeli occupation that began in 1967 and implementing the two-state solution, where two democratic states, an independent and sovereign Palestine and Israel, live side by side in peace and security within their secure and recognized borders on the basis of the 1967 lines, including with regard to Jerusalem, remains the only path to ensure security and stability in the region.
Backing the statement were nations spanning Europe, the Middle East, Africa, Asia, and Latin America, alongside the European Union, the League of Arab States, and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation. The coalition rejected any measure aimed at altering the demographic composition, character, or status of Palestinian territory occupied since 1967, including East Jerusalem. Earlier, the United Nations itself criticized Israel's recent move to register large areas of the West Bank as state property, a step approved by the Israeli government for the first time since 1967.
Secretary General condemns the Israeli government's decision on 15th February to resume land registrations procedures in Area C of the occupied West Bank. That follows a decision by the Israeli cabinet in May of last year. The decision could lead to the dispossession of Palestinians of their property and risks expanding Israeli control over land in the area. Such measures, including Israel's continued presence in the occupied Palestinian territory, are not only destabilizing, but as recalled by the International Court of Justice, illegal, unlawful. He calls on the Israeli government to immediately reverse these measures. He again warns that the current trajectory on the ground is eroding the prospects for the two-state solution. Humanitarian operations continue to face significant impediments. Shipments from Jordan are restricted to a route that requires multiple offloading and reloading points. Shipments from Egypt, Karim Shalom, Karim Abu Salam crossing face a high return rate, despite a recent improvements between the 4th and the 10th of February. Less than 60% of consignments from Egypt could be offloaded at that crossing point.
Can you be specific on who exactly is blocking that?
Well, I mean, the blockage comes from the issues with the Israeli authorities who are dealing with that side of the crossings.
And on your remarks on Israel and their intent on land registration in Area C, would the Secretary General agree with many governments that have come out and called that de facto annexation?
Whether it's de facto annexation or not, it is driving us further away from a two-state solution, which may very well be the intent of those who are pushing that policy.
On Sunday, the Israeli government approved registering vast West Bank areas as state property. This first move since occupying the territory in 1967 shatters decades of status quo.
The government decided today to open a land registry in the West Bank. They allocated 240 million shekels to the registration of large amount of lands in Area C in a process that will end up by total control of the Israeli government over the land, while Palestinians will be sent to prove ownership in a way that they will never be able to do. And this way Israel might take over 83% of the Area C, which is about half of the West Bank. This is a move of sovereignty, a move of annexation. We are 5 days after the Trump declaration again that he will not allow for annexation, and Netanyahu is actually doing whatever he wants and continuing with deepening the annexation of the West Bank.
We reject and condemn all these Israeli measures that aim to expand the Israeli control over the occupied Palestinian territory, mainly in the West Bank, including in Jerusalem. These measures are illegal, they are null and void, and they cannot put any facts on the ground. Adding to this, they are contradicting with the ongoing efforts for peace, stability, and any kind of security in the region, especially what the American administration are trying to do in the region. And this is contradict the 20 points plan of Mr. Trump when he was clear about no annexation, no settlements, and no occupation and continuation of the occupation in the occupied Palestinian territory. So we're seeing this as an attempt to destroy and to destruct any positive effort toward stability, peace, and security in the region.